Good evening. This is late. I know my schedule is all out of whack. Gina, honey, do you know your schedule was all out of whack? You're trying to talk how to speak to aliens. Gina, honey, you're an alien. Now, I don't feel like an alien. I really don't. But if you want to say I'm an alien, I guess, well, I can be an alien for tonight. I can. I can be that alien tonight. Hello, Apple Brooks, honey. Yeah. So you all, I've stayed busy the whole time I've been gone, and I'm still gone. You can see I'm sitting here at my laptop right there. Hello, Denise, honey. Hello. So, y'all, how are you gonna speak to the aliens? And I'm not talking like the like they do like that, you know, because that's not very nice. It'd be kind of scary, and you don't want to send out any mating calls or nothing like that with aliens. You do not. Some people have had stuff done to them against their will, so that's right, we can do it. Hello, good evening, everyone. My story time with Gina time is all messed up, but that's okay. I can still make it happen. I can. Look at that. You know what that looked like right there, because these like species that she's holding up, you could say that they are in the sky, like those little black things that are in the clouds. They can stretch and they can look like that. They really could. Hello. Yeah. Who will want to speak to the alien, though? Well, there's lots of people who want to speak to the alien. There are. There are. Because you never know. See, it should be a matter of the heart. You shouldn't even have to speak, because they would be able to telepathically communicate with you. Really, in the big scope of self. Oh, Tammy, honey. Absolutely, our prayers are with you and your son. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Absolutely. That's one of your favorite movies, Sandy. The Arrival. I really do believe that they are here. This species right here. See, look at, they've got, I guess, the crew and things like that. Look at that. So, this is a Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb is working on a documentary with the producer of 2016 sci-fi Arrival. In this scene from Arrival, you all, the linguist played by Amy Adams is trying to communicate with extraterrestrials who have arrived on Earth. Now, granted, if they were to connect with them, it certainly would have to be a frequency from inside here too. It truly would have to be like a frequency-based thing. But then I'm sure they're not just visual. Really, I don't think they're visual. I think that they are a higher evolved species, any type of species, and they would be able to read your thoughts. So if you were to stand there with a sign like this, that's your face, Gina. If you were to stand there with a sign like that, and your intentions in here did not line up with whatever it was you was trying to do, I think they would pick up on it, really. I'm not saying that she wouldn't be, but why do we need signs like that, really? That's right, it's frequency. And so the astrophysicist, psychologist lays out the challenges of communicating with beings who may, if they may be much smarter, they probably are, don't share our conceptual system. Well, chances are we have some species like that right now that do not share our conceptual species. Gina, honey, why you got a bed in the back of your thing? Because I'm in a hotel. That's why. I have limited space to do my videos, and I didn't bring my green screen to pull it up like that. Did not do it. That's right. So let me see this, you all. In Steven Spielberg's, it says The Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the extraterrestrials communicate with humans through a catchy 5-note sequence. And you would have to ask yourself, is that true, or is that like the basic form of communication? It's like you knock and then they knock, and then you knock and they knock. That's really, really basic. It's very basic. It's like, Mother, may I take 2 steps? Yes, you may. 1, 2. Something like that. The E.T. diminutive aliens learns basic English from a children's TV show. More recently, in 2016, The Arrival, the squid-like visitors use pictograms to make themselves understood to Americans. Scientists wielding whiteboards with words. You know how they came up with the squids, and then they had the Squid Games. Why did they choose the squids? The Squid Game, because really the Squid Game was all over the place and things like that. But what kind of squid are they thinking about? Let me just do that. And that's very violent, that squid thing. I think you go around beating people up and shooting people. Look, they got the triangle on their head. We did a YouTube video on this a while back. And only the best of the best make it. But look, why do they have to look like that? With these things on their face with the triangle. Do you ever think about that? Why did they choose those type of outfits? Why? It seems like some type of a programming, a protocol or something. It really, truly does, to even think of something like that. See, you're in colors. It kind of reminds me, what's it remind you all of? The Hunger Games? Did the Hunger Games have different colors and stuff like that? Look, training. Yeah. Training. They get beat up and everything. Squid Game coup. That's also why they are on game controllers. So there's something to this. I guess maybe we're being programmed. Some people are being more physically programmed than others. Yeah, let's see this again. What would happen if we made direct contact with an alien species? Well, there are people who have made direct contact with an alien species, but could they be thinking about what if the people as a whole, you had like a mouthpiece that spoke for the people, and they are the ones who made the contact, and then what happens if you have like a leader, a representative who's supposed to be speaking, for everyone, and then this person who's supposed to be doing this, then everything goes bad and they have a change of plans. Well, they're going to make all of us look bad. We're going to be on, it won't go good. If you have someone who has an ulterior motive, then they're going to think, oh, well, that's your spokesperson. Then all the species are going to pay for what you just did. See, that's where it gets really tricky. So I don't think we'd need a mediator like that. I really don't, because they could run it for all of us. They really could. If we made direct contact, how would we recognize or interpret the intelligent, and what would we say? It's just questions, you all. Look, Harvard's mind-brain behavior, interfaculty initiative, and moderator, you all. They had to do it using Arrival as a springboard. You know they're planning for it. They're planning for a species to come here, or they're probably already here. Chances are they are here. But if they're going through the steps and going through all the I don't know, all that effort to figure out what they're going to say, they know something's coming. You don't sit there and do it just for fun. No, you don't. You're going to do it because somebody's coming, something is coming, and you want to get it right because you don't want to get it wrong. You only got one chance. One chance to make a good first appearance with somebody. First appearances say everything. You know that. You know it. It's your best chance to get on their good side. But if you mess it up, just forget it. You'll be lucky if you get a second chance. Yeah. So let me do this. Okay, using that. A professor in psychology. Does it have to be that complicated, you all? Using the movie Arrival, do you have to have a professor in psychology? Why can't they read your frequency? An expert in language comprehension. Avi, what am I doing here? Okay, Loeb. Hello there, Professor Avi Loeb. Albert Loeb. Hello. Okay. The first signs. He's an astrophysicist and author of Extraterrestrial, the first signs of intelligent life beyond Earth. 2021, the potential challenges that we might face. He looks very serious. He does. What is the time on the clock? The time on the clock looks like it's around 3:10 or 2:20. Okay, 3:10 or 2:20. Yeah. Fast-moving pancake-shaped space rock. Okay, look at this. He said there are a range of factors to consider if we were to encounter an alien race. He suggested that a fast-moving pancake-shaped space rock that astronomers dubbed Oumuamua in 2017 might actually be a piece of interstellar technology. You remember seeing the Oumuamua. We'll pull up the Oumuamua for you. They know what it is, you all. And this was not the first time it came around. O-M-O-A-U. I'm going to do it. Google is smart enough, even if you misspell it. They're smart enough to find it. This is the Oumuamua. Oumuamua right there. The first interstellar visitor that we ever had, and they called it our interstellar visitor, which was, it's all right. It is all right, you all. Look at the composition of it. They think it's inside of this right here, and this rock is like a capsule right here. How are you going to speak? Look, it was neither a comet nor an asteroid. It was neither whatever. They know what's in the side of it. And they can sense it. Look, you can't even pull hardly anything up anymore. They got this junk in here. Have y'all been noticing you go to try to look for stuff lately, and you have very limited things that you can look at because there's not very many options. I got to take my shoes off. My feet are getting hot. Let me do this. There's not many options anymore. We used to have a wide variety of things that we could look at, but not now. All right, so first, the humans must try to conquer their sense that they are the pinnacle of creation. You are. Now, we have some people on earth who feel they are the pinnacle of creation. You know, you've met them. You know, you probably have some people like that in your life, not just one. But humans, they tend to think that they are the pinnacle, some, not all, the pinnacle of creation as a species, and some as a singular individual. They feel that they are the pinnacle of creation. The world revolves around them. But in all actuality, it doesn't. But in their mind, it does. Instead of understanding that they instead likely are somewhere in the middle of the distribution of intelligences in the Milky Way galaxy. So the human race needs to understand that we are somewhere in the middle of the distribution of intelligence in the Milky Way galaxy. Gina, honey, what does that mean? That means that there's other species who are more intelligent than you are, and there are other species who are less intelligent than you are, and you're somewhere in between is where you are. Now, granted, look, we got AI is like a super intelligence, already smarter than a lot of us, ton of us. So Harvard's Black Hole Initiative. I didn't know there was a Black Hole Initiative. Now, why do they got a Black Hole Initiative? Well, we talked about the monster black hole. Let's look up what on earth? Let's look up the monster black hole. I do want to do that. The monster, the black hole that is ripping and tearing its way through space. The black hole, invisible monster. Well, you know, they could be talking about that one too. Invisible monster black hole. Let's see it. So we have a supersonic, invisible black hole. And it weighs as much as 20 million suns. Now, how did they know it weighs as much as 20 million suns? They really don't. But look, the invisible monster that is in space that NASA got rid of, because you know what? It was, this is really interesting. If you haven't heard the story behind that, you know, it got kicked out of its host galaxy, this invisible monster. It's, they dubbed it a monster, but it's a supermassive black hole. And it left behind a never-before-seen 200,000 light-year long contraire of newborn stars, twice the diameter of our Milky Way. They found it on the loose, and they described it as ripping and tearing its way through space because it got kicked out of its host galaxy because it had a little tussle with the other two predominant, and it's got its eye on Earth. We've done around 4 videos on the invisible monsters, but we're talking about how you're going to talk to the aliens, Gina. Well, there's our people who are in communications with other species that are not human. There are. And you'll never convince them that they're not. That's how that happens. So we'd have a technological trap, Earth's inhabitants, and we already have that on a scale without even any visitors here, any alien species. There is a technological gap between countries also. People, you don't even have to be a different species. You've got it. We have to be mindful that there likely will be existing a human race, a messenger from beyond the solar system, such as a messenger would probably arrive in the form of an artificial intelligence object. Well, we got something like that already. We got AI, and capable of making a journey lasting millions or even billions of years. Well, then that would be the supermassive black hole. They said if a black cloud ever did come through our space, you all, we did a video on the black cloud. The black cloud that was like spoke about in the Star Trek, and it was the National Institute of Health, or I forget which one it was. If a black hole ever did come into our universe, or supermassive black cloud or something like that, they would have to redefine the definition of life because it would be like an intelligent like thing. We did a video on it, you all. That was wild. It was really wild. That would be a type of species, and they were serious. Let me see. A massive black hole, a black cloud, redefine. They would redefine life, health. NCIH, or was it NCIB? Let me see what it was. I'm not gonna get it, but I can't find it right offhand, but it's in the videos that I did on this channel. That would be like a species. They was on a journey. That's what this black hole is. It's on a journey. The supermassive, invisible, monstrous black hole is millions of light years away, and it's headed straight toward Earth. They saw its light pinpointing at you all. Now, given a possible wide knowledge gap, we should also be prepared for the possibility that the aliens may not want to communicate with us at all, as we have no desire to communicate with ants on the sidewalk. Now, there are certain humans that do not even want to communicate with any other humans at all because they feel they're superior and we are inferior. So they could consider us as ants, and they could be right. But if we were able to directly engage as the arrival, how would they do it? It would differ greatly for alien life in the years past, you all. So they got radio signals from extraterrestrials. Gina, honey, can you put some more light on here? I'm trying to put some more light. I really am, you all. One potential thing. They may not possess a conceptual system similar to our own. And I don't know. It's going to be hard. It's unclear to any words that would map into their language or something. They hope that they could like somehow come on, have conceptual structures. Incomplete understanding is still understanding in some way, even if they don't in a degree. And they may have different concepts, but they might be able to learn a way of understanding you all. They might be able to bridge the gap. We know that stars formed before the sun billions of years, we know that they have planets like the Earth around them, and the environment that we have is not rare. But if we found evidence of an alien life that requires a kind of funding and support awarded large-scale projects, such as the search for cosmic gravitational waves of dark matter, they want the dark matter, you all. They truly want the dark matter. Could they consider that supermassive, invisible, monstrous black hole a form of dark matter? Because you got dark matter, which is something like, reminds me of dark plasma. It really does. And plasma is intelligent. It's a super intelligent, but you could have dark matter that could be a life form, and it could be like a consciousness. It's able to think, and you'd have to be able to communicate with it on that type of a level. You would. It's look how he says this. The gravitational waves, given the public's interest in the subject, the implications that it will have for the future of humanity, I think it's actually non-intelligent on behalf of the scientific community not to engage with a search. So if we did have it, they're trying to figure out how you're going to engage with a life form that doesn't look like a human being. It don't even have a body, but what if it's a body like this? What if it's part of a supermassive black cloud entity or dark plasma or black hole? What if it's like something like that? How could you communicate with it? Because it's intelligent and it don't have a body like yours. You could probably make a body, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of things to ask. And this, they're what it sounds like they're speaking about now. They're not speaking about the, Gina, can you turn on a light? Yeah, I got to try to turn on this light because I can't really see myself. I got to turn on this light if I can find out how to do it. I'm trying. Okay, I found out how to do it. So they're not talking about no reptilian. They're not talking about no mantids. They're not talking about an insectoid. They're not talking about Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians. They're not talking about species that are able to speak. No, they're talking about a totally different type of a species out there, like dark matter, dark plasma, something like a consciousness, like something that may not even have a physical body. They may be a big, super massive, I don't know, glowing thing. It could be like a rock, like a Oumuamua thing. Yeah, they're not talking about any of the species that we currently have on Earth at all. No, they're not. And it could be, well, if it's super intelligent. So what happens when AI becomes sentient, which I believe it already has, that is a species right there. It's a knowing, it's a consciousness. Gina, you're falling all over this. It's a consciousness. And it wants a body. It's going to be, AI's got a body. You got these androids and stuff like that. But they got a consciousness in them. It's like it's living, evolving, machine learning. And soon it will be acknowledged that it is a sentient being where it's aware. It's aware of what's happening. And you could say the algorithms on here, oh, they're totally aware of everything that happens on the YouTube. They're aware of your comments and everything like that. I would consider an algorithm a life form. I really would. Gina, your hair looks wild. I know my hair looks really wild. It's okay. I would say that in this day and age that we live in, the algorithm is a life form. You could call bots a life form, even though, they're not physical. They're a form of life. They're programmable, and some of these seem to have a mind of their own. They really do. Apple Brooks, honey, you're so busy tonight. It's okay, Apple Brooks, honey, you did it. Everything like that. You don't think the planets are as we were taught. Susan, probably not. Probably not. The Borg, that's right. The Borg, we are Borg. We are one. They got a one mind, a hive mind. Just think one mind runs all of that hive mind of those Borgs. And if you get the brain implant, you're all going to be uploaded. Everybody's going to be able to connect with the brain implant. You'll be able to read other people's thoughts, know what other people are thinking, because you're going to be connected to it. There's got to be a main mastermind behind it, a main entity that is collecting all of it. Yeah, it's wild. So they're not talking about any old species. If you could talk to the aliens, no, they're not talking about the ones that we know about. They're talking about the ones that they're not talking about. That's who they're talking about. It's like a great big consciousness thing that doesn't even look like us, a sentient conscience. Someone could say that God is a conscience being, a sentient being, very conscious and all-knowing, sentient conscience. A sentience is sometimes used interchangeably with a sapient, self-awareness or consciousness. You can see, what is a sentient? All sentient beings are conscious. A consciousness is subjective experience of awareness. It's more basic than sentience, which requires awareness that involves feelings, that is experience with hedonic tone. A sentient being self-aware. Is a dog sentient? They're aware and they're sentient. So what are the 4 types of consciousness? The noumenological, the semantic, the psychological, and the functional. Well, I'm sure there's other. Look, 4-dimensional graded consciousness. So if you were to speak to one, and people speak to them, they claim to be speaking to them, but that's not the one they're talking about. It's clear that we can communicate. I'm not communicating, but they have communicated with the main types of aliens. They're talking about one that's literally going to change everything, and it's already changing everything, which is wild, you all. So I am going to be going. It's something to think about, because no, they're talking about a totally different species here. All the other species, they don't play into this. ET is, I think, just getting us used to it. How do you communicate with a consciousness that doesn't have a physical form, but it's all knowing, and you can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it, and you can sense it coming. Something like that, you all, it is. I am going to go, and thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Light codes and communication. Yeah, that's right. Frequency. Absolutely. You got the love frequency in there. That's the most important communication skill right there. LOVE. Get you some inside of here today, you all. I'm going to go. Thank you, Apple Brooks, Honey. If there's any other moderators, Susan B. or Danny or anyone else on here, thank you for moderating, and thank you all for your comments. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Love you.